What?
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Utility, Safety, and Environment Committee meeting. The first item on our agenda is the approval of the June 24th, 2020 Utilities Committee meeting minutes. Can I get a motion, please?
So moved, Madam Chair.
Second. It's been moved and properly second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. The next item on the agenda is the matter of the East Side Release Sewer Diversion Structure at the WWPC plant. Engineer Schneider, please.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. This project is part of our overall long-term projects to be completed at the plant. What it's going to do is it's going to assist with the new wet weather sewer that we're putting in down Abbey Road currently, and on Poplar Street right now. It basically brings the flow in and it gives it the split at the plant so we can control the flow better based on how we need to push the flow through the plant. So it is part of our overall plan that will help control the runoff and overflows into the Black River. And so the project will be paid for at this time solely out of the wastewater funds. We have it in the budget for $2.1 million, which we think we will be below that. All of our projects we've been bidding out so far this year have come in below the estimate, so there's a lot of hungry contractors out there. Currently, there's no stimulus money out there for these projects yet, but we're hoping, and there's been a lot of talk about various things out there. So if it does come available, we will be back to council to try to apply for those type of things as well. So, so this is 100% city funds.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Engineer Schneider? Seeing none, I'll read the committee report. We have considered the matter of the East Side Relief Sewer Diversion Structure project at the WWPC plant. This is an ordinance authorizing the mayor to advertise for bids and enter into a contract for said project. Funds are appropriated in the wastewater capital fund. Emergency clause is requested as project is scheduled to begin in the fall of 2020. Can I get a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. The next item is the matter of a professional service with the CTI engineers for construction inspection services for the WWPC project. Engineer Schneider.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Currently at the wastewater treatment plant, we have a number of projects going on. CTI they have been on site for us, being our eyes and ears and going over the contractor's work and making sure he's doing everything according to spec. There's a lot of work involved with these type of projects, and they actually have various skills that we don't have, let's say, in-house for like electrical engineering, things of that nature. So they review the electrical, the mechanical, so they have a lot of staff on board that the city doesn't have. Currently, like I said, they are working on a few projects out there right now. We're looking to amend their contract to also include additional work that they'll be doing for us, which will be the diversion structure and continue working on the projects that they are working on. But the intent of this is to bring it in line so that they can stay out there. They're doing a good job, very good job for us, and keep them going. It's efficient for us because they're working on multiple projects at one time, so it's a very good thing while they're out there, and it's their quality of work that they do. It really does help. They're on top of everything for the contractor. They share everything with Terry and his guys, so we'd like to keep them out there and continue working with them. As I said, it's the efficiency alone is really because of the multiple projects they're working on. They can bounce back and forth between the projects. So we'd like to keep them out there and amend their contract to, with the additional $200,000 that we have in the budget for inspection management for the diversion chamber. So,
Thank you. Are there any questions? Mrs. Davis?
Through you, Madam Chair. So all this company does is just inspect for you? Nothing else?
they do project management. So they're out there,
okay.
they're managing the project for us. They're making sure not only the work is being done right, but what they submit is the proper items. So if they submit a piece of equipment, a submittal, which is basically a paper submittal, they make sure that that piece of equipment matches the specifications in the plans and specifications, and therefore they stamp it approved so that the contractor continue to work and put in what we're supposed to get. So we're getting what we're supposed to get.
Okay.
You know, if they try to change something out there, or if there are other things that pop up that are unknown, they are documenting all those type of work changes and making sure that we're only paying for sorry, I'm having a hard time breathing. We're only paying for what we're supposed to, so.
Well, thank you.
And I imagine that frees you and Mr. Corzine up and everyone else from having to double check stuff.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other questions? I'll read the committee report, thank you. We have considered the matter of amendment number 2 for construction inspection services and project representatives for WWPCP projects. This is an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into a professional service contract with CTI Engineers Incorporated in the amount of $200,000 for amendment number 2 for said projects. Monies are appropriated in the 2020 budget. The breakdown is attached. This will be a suspension of rules is requested so the project can continue as scheduled. Can I get a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. The next matter on the agenda is the matter of the the matter of the OPWC, Ohio Public Works Commission project, round 35 for year 2021. Mr. Schneider, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Every year for the past 34 years, we've submitted applications to the Ohio Public Works Commission for streets to be resurfaced. This is round 35 we're looking to apply for. Currently, I will let you know that there's been discussion on whether or not they're going to accept applications for round 35 due to the COVID-19. So we're just trying to set this in motion to make sure that if they do accept the applications, we're ready to go. I do have a list of streets below of which I was looking to apply for. The one being, which I want to actually amend what I have down here. I have Cleveland Street from Hawthorne to East Bridge, and I actually want the East Broad Street from East Bridge to Abbey Road South. On the list that I provided for you, the Cleveland Street from Hawthorne to East Bridge Street, I want to take that one off. That actually, we do have funds to do that project, but they're going to come in a later date. So we'll apply for those at another date. Next year, I'll ask for the council's permission to submit on that one. But the East Broad Street one actually comes before the Cleveland Street. That project is, as of right now, we're hoping to get that out next year for bid. So I wanted to actually, that was a misprint on my part. I put the wrong one in there. So I want East Broad from East Bridge to Abbey Road South, and then the Burns Road from Abbey Road to Gulf Road, Abbey Road from State Route 57 to Cleveland Street, and Lowell Street from the Ray Road to State Route 113. And I also actually want to modify this even more, unfortunately.
Say that again.
I wanted to modify it a little bit more, sorry. On the Burns Road, I was going to add Gulf Road from the wastewater treatment plant north to Hilltop. It was going to be included in that project because it's all kind of contiguous and it all needs to be taken care of, so.
And I see on the Lowell Street, that still needs to be a discussion with the county engineers?
The project has been approved right now. I'm kind of putting it on here to kind of hold the place in case I have to resubmit. The project was approved originally. It was then determined that the projects that they approved, the funding did not match what they approved, and they had to pull projects out. That was pulled back out of the approved list, but the county engineer's office did state that they do plan on funding it. But with the whole COVID-19 thing right now, I don't know if that's going to change that again.
Sure.
So I was just kind of putting it in there to try to secure the spot.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions for Mr. Snyder? No? Okay. I'll read the committee report. We have considered the matter of the Ohio Public Works Project for 2021, round 35. This is an ordinance authorizing the mayor to submit applications for grants and/or loans and accept funds, if offered, from Ohio Public Works Commission. Emergency clause is requested due to applications due date of September 4th, 2020. Can I get a motion, please?
So moved.
Second?
It's been moved and properly second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. It is hard to breathe on these things. The next matter is the ODOT LPA agreement for LOR-CR Cleveland Street and East Bridge Street Improvement Project. Mr. Snyder, please.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. We applied for some funding through the state of Ohio for safety funds to redo Cleveland Street and also through NOACA, and we did receive confirmation that funding is available for us if we choose to take it. I believe it's in the magnitude of about $5.6 million. So the plan is to continue on with the road diet on Cleveland Street from where they left off at Hawthorne all the way up to East Bridge Street, and some improvements along East Bridge Street as well. Below, you'll see the projected cost estimate as far as the safety funds and the NOACA funds. The safety funds it's capped at $2 million. We can use it for not only engineering, but construction, so we have a lot more flexibility with those funds. The NOACA funds can only be used for construction only, and then both require matches from the city, which is about roughly $1.5 million, which is when I will come back to the council in regards to the Ohio Public Works next year, and we will apply for some of those funds through that. There probably will be additional funds we're going to need, or we could always come back and do a SIB loan again, like we've done in the past on projects, to cover the city share. But those are requirements as part of the project. So, but the project itself is not scheduled until state fiscal year 2023, which starts in July of 2022, is the earliest we'll see construction start. But in the meantime, we need to get the engineering going, and I can't start that until I have the LPA agreement with ODOT. So that's what we're requesting today, is just that council will allow the mayor to enter an agreement with ODOT with the LPA agreement so that we can move forward and start the whole process.
Thank you. Mr. Oswald.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I don't know if it's rumor or just hearsay, but by doing that road down Cleveland Street and into East Bridge, do we have to put a bike path to get this money?
It is one of the things that as part of the safety funds that we did apply for, providing some sort of improved bicycle travel. That's part of the safety fund. When you apply for safety funds, you're not only looking to make the road safer, you're also making it safer for different styles of transportation, whether it be people walking, people biking. So they really like to see the complete street concept. So the intent, and that is, what is it? It's a federal bike route. It's part of the federal bike route, I think 30. So, I mean, it would be a good idea if we're going to use the safety funds to do something to enhance the bike travel.
So I'm assuming that when you start doing the engineering, it will be engineered with a bike path?
That's the plan.
Okay.
The plan, and you know, the current road out there right now is roughly 40 feet wide minimum. So if we're doing a road diet, usually if we plan it right, we can utilize a lot of the leftover roadway for part of it. So, you know, the intent of this project is to do a lot of curb replacement, a lot of sidewalk replacement, you know, as much as we can, and accommodate a traveling lane out there somehow for the bike, so.
Well, it really needs it. Cleveland Street's a dying street, and I think that would perk up life over there with, like you said, doing new curbs and sidewalks, and I think it'd be a great benefit. I can't wait till it gets started. Thank you.
And through you, Madam Chair, and is there a great possibility that when you do the traffic study, that there are going to be a light at the post office there?
Post office? No,
We're on Cleveland Street, coming down to East Bridge there?
no,
No?
no.
Hmm.
The current lights that are out there are all warranted. Actually, the one at Olive wasn't warranted until we do the road dye, and then it actually becomes warranted. So what that means is you look at, a traffic study was essentially done for this already. It was part of the safety study that we completed in order to apply for funds. And they go out and they look at the traffic and they check to see if traffic lights are warranted. So the current traffic lights are the only ones that were warranted. Now, and remember, with a road dye, it's going to shrink lanes down to, you're only traveling across one lane, which makes it easier for turning. You don't have to worry about two lanes coming at you, someone passing them real quick. That's one of the safety improved things why going to a road diet improves safety, because it slows traffic down, because people have to follow people. And it gives you kind of that middle lane out there. It's kind of almost like a part of a safe haven to pull out into when traffic is heavy. So.
Mr. Snyder, I know that we have nothing to do with the railroad and they take care of the bridge and all of that, but you know how horrible it is under that overpass on East Bridge, coming from Cleveland Street going,
You're talking the way the lanes are configured?
not only that, just the condition of the bridge itself.
Oh, the bridges,
and
yeah.
Is that gonna be improved in any way?
We can't touch those bridges. Those
Because of the railroads.
are the railroads, and
Is there any way we can go to the railroad and ask them to please do something? I know that we have in the past.
been done many, many a time.
I know.
I will tell you, those bridges are built to take a lot of punishment. So even though you see a lot of spalled concrete out there, sometimes those walls are 5 foot thick. I mean, they build them to last. I know that. And I know in the past, administrations have reached out numerous times, and they work on their own schedule is all I can say.
All right, thank you. Are there any other questions for Mr. Snyder?
Yeah.
Mrs. Davis?
Through you, Madam Chair, and since you brought it up, you mean to tell me they can't paint them? I mean, the conditions are so bad, can't they paint the railings that come down on our streets?
We can't touch their bridges.
Well, I know we can't touch, but can't we ask, could they paint them?
I mean, they could. I don't know what it would entail. I don't know if that paint's lead-based paint. It would shut the road down for sure if you were painting that for a time period. Let alone the amount of rust that's on those bridges. I don't know if the paint would hold too well. You're talking about sandblasting it, and I don't know if they want to. You know, it's really up to the railroad. I can't answer really for them, but I know we've tried in the past, and even the city, you know, tried to help out painting it once before, and that was shut down.
Well, I say we ask them, all they can say is no. That's all they can say is no, we don't want to do it, so.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now, it's even hard to even find out who you have to contact, because
Right, I understand
they
that.
don't have the information out there accessible as far as a point of contact. So we could reach out. That's about all we can do. I mean, I can't promise anything on that.
Thank you for that.
The hardest part about dealing with railroads, period, is getting a response.
Yeah.
So whether it's no or otherwise, you just can't get a hold of them.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? If not, I'll read the committee report. We have considered the matter of the ODOT LPA agreement for Cleveland Street and East Bridge Street Improvement Project. This is an ordinance authorizing the mayor to accept safety funds and enter into an LPA agreement with ODOT for said project, requesting to be passed under suspension of rules and emergency to maintain project schedule. And the cost breakdown is safety funds, $2 million, NOACA, $3.329 million, local funds is $1.534 million. Can I get a motion, please?
Second?
It's been moved and properly second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. The next matter is the ODOT LPA agreement for LORCR East Broad Street Improvement Project. Mr. Snyder.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Just like the previous item, this will just extend from East Broad Street. The work will be between East Bridge and Abbey Road. The intent is to make it a 3-lane road as well. Currently, most of that road's only 2-lane, and so I believe all the way up to Prospect Street, from the western terminus to Prospect Street, the roadway width is roughly 34 feet from curb to curb. So in that area there, we wouldn't require any widening. We could just mill and fill the road, and you just basically, you're paving the road differently. So we'll be able to put the 3 lanes in there in that section without too much difficulty. When you go west or east of Prospect Street, it's 2 lanes, it's asphalt, there's no curbs. That's the area that will really widen out into what we're projecting is 34 feet, just like the other area, and essentially put bi-directional traffic each way with a 2-way left turn lane in the middle, just like Cleveland Street will be, just like West Avenue is right now. And traffic lights will be replaced. The intent is also to put a bike path or multi-use path if we can as well, as long as the right-of-way allows us along the roadway as well. So, because we want to bring people to, walk and bike more. So, I mean, that's one of the things that a lot of communities are moving to, is that complete street process. So, sorry, I'm trying to breathe. It's basically, like I said, the same thing. It's going to be a 3-lane road, and hopefully we won't need any right-of-way. We don't anticipate any right-of-way out there. That usually delays the project quite a bit. This project is in state fiscal year 2022, which means we could go as early as next July if we can get everything done, or as late as June of 2023 to get started in the construction. So this one is actually going to move a little bit faster than the Cleveland Street one, and that's why I wanted to also include that in the Ohio Public Works, because this could go next year, and we could help recover costs that local shares that are required. The beauty of this project, we were able to get not only safety funds and NOACA funds in just over $8 million of funds, but the safety funds that were being allocated, because we're a disadvantaged city, we have the ability to get the extra 10% that the safety funds, so usually it's a 90-10 split, safety funds, will possibly pick up the remaining 10% of that share. So we won't have to have a cost share with the safety funds. The safety funds is the same as Cleveland Street. We can use it toward design, we can use it toward the construction, so it's pretty forgiving as far as what we're using it for. But it's a project that actually started in the 70s. in the 70s, I believe it was a 4-lane road they wanted to put in, 4 to 5-lane road. And then it was reduced over the years, and, you know, we just never had our cost share to help pay for the cost of it. So, it finally is, we think, to the point where we can pay for it, whether we do SIB loans and the additional safety funds. So, ODOT, they're on board with it already. So, I think it's going to be a great project for that area. As you know, it will help connect downtown over Chestnut Commons. There's a fire station right on Cedar Street, which would help facilitate their response times, as well as the one on East Broad Street. So it's a good project.
Thank you, John. Mr. Oswald, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Could you, I guess I was lost. East Broad Street, where is it going to begin and where is it going to end?
The way it was set up was East Bridge Street to Abbey Road, south.
Okay. So that portion from right in front of where the Speedway and the Dunkin' Donuts that are supposedly getting expanded and brought in, that will be looked upon as far as maybe being 3 lanes, possible 4? Is that a different project?
Possibly at the intersection, we may require 4 lanes at the intersection, as long as we have enough right-of-way. That's always the kicker. I mean, you know, when you're working within the existing city right-of-way, it's very expensive to buy additional right-of-way, and it's also very cumbersome as far as getting it through. It adds a whole another year of time on your design. So we feel we can get it in there the way it is right now. We're actually going to get a few more feet from Speedway too to help out as far as right away or an easement on their part. So.
Well, I just wanted to make a comment that my mom and dad bought their house at 421 East Broad Street, which is across from the fire station. They bought it probably 63 years ago. And my dad said that when the realtor was selling them the home, they said, they're talking about expanding the road at that time. And it's been that long, 63 years, that it's been discussed as far as widening that road. So I will be very glad when it's finally done, and I'm sure my dad will be very happy. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Mrs. Keys?
Through you, Mrs. Chair, Madam Chair, sorry. So from Prospect to East Bridge, it's a 2-lane road now, and you're proposing to make it into a 3-lane with a turning lane in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Will you have to buy right away then?
No.
There? No.
No, from Prospect to East Bridge, we already, from curb to curb, it's 34 feet.
Okay.
So we can already get 2 12-foot lanes and a 10-foot lane in there.
Okay.
That's not a problem. It's east of that Prospect Street where it's only 2 lanes, really 2 lanes. I mean, I guess to the west of it's 2 lanes, but they're oversized 2 lanes. They're 17 feet wide, which is abnormally large for a driving lane.
So from Prospect to
South Avenue.
East Bridge, right? You're going to widen it to 3 lanes. It's 2 lanes now.
It's 2 lanes, but we're going to mill the road and we're going to repaint it so that it's 3 lanes.
Okay.
We won't need to move the curbs in that area because it's already wide enough.
Okay.
To the east of Prospect Street, so from Prospect Street to South Abbey, it's only wide enough for 2 lanes.
Okay.
It's literally like 23, 24 feet wide.
Okay.
So in order to get the 3rd lane in there, we're going to have to widen it.
All right. And
So
then do you do the sidewalks at all then?
We are looking to, as part of this project, to have some sort of possibly multi-use path through there as well.
Okay.
So, you know, we have one over here on Water Street, and we have the one over on Ford Road. So we're looking at, you know, something like that.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
For bikes.
Thank you.
Mr. Oswald?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Now, when they do that study and what's going to get, we're going to get work being done, because I know the infrastructure underneath Broad Street's terrible. They keep repairing a lot of mains and sewers and things. Does that get all redone at the time that you're going to redo that whole street, or are we just going to have junk underneath it?
We'll take a look at it. We'll go through and make sure if there's any holes, any broken pipe to the point that needs to be repaired, like we do with every street resurfacing we do, and make sure that, you know, it's repaired. And I will tell you, on some of that road, there is no infrastructure underneath it hardly. I mean, yeah, you have a water main that crosses it, but I'm talking storm sewers, it's ditch pipe and old ditches that have been filled in, it doesn't drain well as it is. It is on a ridge a little bit, so they kind of sheds off. But, you know, with the new roadway, we'll have curbs out there, we'll have catch basins, we'll actually collect the water on East Broad Street finally in a lot of locations and take it where it needs to go.
Well, I know that, and I still own that home, which is right across from Kipling, and when you get a major storm, I still get water in the basement because it comes down and it can't flow out fast enough with the storm sewers and drains that we have. So I guess that was just my question, and in front of that area, there's constant repairs being done, patches in the road, because it'll burst, bubble up, and then they repair it, and then a little bit further down, so I guess I'm just saying that, and I don't know how bad it is further down, but I know that's a dip in that area. That's a problem.
Yeah, we'll definitely, like I said, we'll inspect it. Terry's crews go out there every year for us when we do street resurfacing, and they go in and they camera every sewer and make sure, excuse me, that they are in good condition. As far as size-wise, if they're overloaded, not until, as part of the big wet weather program, we're going to be down in those areas and diverting flows, which should hopefully help, some of the locations over there, as well as doing other projects throughout the city will definitely help those type of situations. But we're a ways from that actually getting over in that area. So
Well, that relief project is going to be going down Clark Street supposedly Clark Street towards Prospect. Weren't they originally talking about the same thing that they're doing over there on Abbey Road right now? Isn't that supposed to come and end up over there by Ridge Tool?
I believe there's something on Fairlawn that we have to pick up, a pickup location over there.
Yeah.
But those are also smaller sewers in a lot of those locations. We're not going to have 72-inch pipe when we get further south. It actually drops quite a bit once you get, I believe, past the Gulf Road. It cuts it in half from 72 to, let's say, 48 or 54, and then the further south you go, it will start shrinking down. Some areas will be 18 inches only. It's
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? I'll read the committee report. We have considered the matter of the ODOT LPA agreement for East Broad Street project. This is an ordinance authorizing the mayor to accept safety funds and enter into an LPA agreement with ODOT for said project, requesting to be passed under suspension of rules and emergency to maintain schedule. Can I get a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. The next item on the agenda is the matter of the South Park Trail project.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. As part of the Elyria Parks Recreation Department's master plan, there was part of it was to build a trail over at South Park. Just to give you a quick, we're just going, don't take this as being gospel here, but the intent is to bring a trail around and connect it from the South Park facility around over past the water tower over onto 16th Street in that location right now, one way or the other. So we're looking at putting a trail over there, 10-foot wide trail, just like we did over at East, which they finished last week, in case you haven't been over there. Part of the trail at East is stone and part is asphalt. This trail here, we plan on making it all asphalt through. We're considering this kind of phase one, connecting it around over to 16th Street. Later phases we're looking at when we start maybe developing or getting some more property would be connecting over to Middle Avenue and possibly some of the side streets that run down to Fuller Road to provide a little more connectivity. But at this time, this was in the master plan, this whole project, and in the budget. So it's paid for both out of the Issue 6 funds as well as CDBG, which it will be I believe it's going to be a nice addition to the whole South Rec area. It's going to, in the future, once we get it really the complete trail done. It's going to provide a lot more connectivity, make it safer for people to go over there and really use South Park the way it needs to be used. It's a large facility that can handle a lot of people, so we want to encourage that as much as possible.
Thank you, Mr. Snyder. Are there any questions? If not, I'll read the committee report. We have considered the matter of the South Park Trail project, and this is an ordinance authorizing the mayor to advertise for bids and award a contract for said trail project. Funds have been appropriated in the 2020 budget using Issue 6 funds along with the CDBG allocations. Issue 6 is $127,000 and CDBG is $71,000. Can I get a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Aye. I think that's gonna be really nice at South Park with them getting the new playground equipment.
Madam Chair, if I may, is this gonna be an emergency, John?
Yes, we'd like to make a number. We're hoping to get it constructed this year. Actually, we need to get it constructed this year because the CDBG funds need to be spent this year.
Thank you.
Thank you, John. Thank you very much. The last item on the agenda is the matter of advertising for bids for resurfacing of Abbey Road South, Cleveland Street to the railroad track. Mr. Snyder.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. We did receive confirmation from Ohio Public Works that Round 34 has been released so far. And the project that we have right now is just Abbey Road South from Cleveland Street to the railroad tracks. And it's our typical Ohio Public Works type projects. They pay 89%. We pay 11% is how it's set up. Even though the numbers are a little higher there, this is just an estimate. But the Ohio Public Works funds are capped at $82,999. So, but 89%, the split is 89-11. Ow. So at this time, we're looking to go out for bid and get it constructed. The road definitely needs it.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Engineer Snyder? If not, I'll read the committee report. The resurfacing, we have considered the matter of resurfacing Abbey Road South from Cleveland Street to the railroad track, and this is an ordinance authorizing the mayor to advertise for bids and enter into a contract for said resurfacing project. Monies are appropriated in the 2020 budget. The city's part is $17,001 coming from the Muni Motor Vehicle Fund, and the OPWC is $82,999, which is a grant. This is requested to be passed under suspension of rules and an emergency to maintain project schedules. Can I get a motion, please?
So moved, Madam Chair.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. There's no other business. Mr. Tollett, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have a question for Mr. Corzan. Currently, are you doing COVID testing at wastewater treatment plant? And if so, how often is that done?
Through you, Madam Chair. No, we are not doing the COVID testing at this time. The main reason for that being we have our influent samplers off per Ohio EPA approval, mainly because of our continuity of operation plan and the way we're staffing at the moment to try to keep all of our personnel safe. Also, when you're collecting those samples, they have to be flash frozen at minus 80 degrees centigrade and then shipped off. So we don't have the ability to do that so that the sample can arrive at the testing lab with proper integrity. I'm following all of the research that's being done on that, and I think it's a great thing. But the one thing that they're not able to do right now with that testing is to actually correlate what they're finding with the number of potential positive individuals within the collection system area of service. I know they're working really hard to see if they can get enough data to actually draw such a correlation. But in an article I read earlier this week, the researchers aren't very hopeful of being able to do that in the next year or two. There's just too many variables that go into it. Number one, there are positive COVID patients that don't excrete the virus in their stool. Number two, there's a large variability from one patient to the next as to how much virus they actually shed in the stool. And that varies on an order of magnitude by like 3 orders of magnitude. I could be positive and shed only 10 counts per gram of stool. Someone else could be positive and shed 10,000 counts per gram of stool. So there's so much variability there that they can't, all they can say right now is, yes, it's there, but they can't correlate it with the number of positive cases in the community as of this time. So that's pretty much the gist of what's going on with that. I know many countries around the globe are working on that, and hopefully they'll be able to share enough data over the next 6 months or so to be able to do better with what the results are telling them. But right now they don't know exactly what the results are telling them other than, yes, it's there. I mean, you can't even say, wow, it's increasing, or wow, it's really going down, because there's so much variability in how it's shed, and also if there's any fluctuations in your flow coming into the plant on a day-to-day basis, that has an impact on it too. So it can really skew the results. But
Thank you. The reason I asked, City Council is going to be tasked with the spending of the CARES Act money, $1.6 million. And it was one of the things that I was thinking about, if there was anything we could do as a council to assist in that, if we were doing it. I wasn't sure.
okay, yeah, along that lines, in addition to having to flash freeze the samples, there's a $1,200 charge for the testing. And what they're asking for is they're asking participating POTW to submit samples once a week. So that cost adds up pretty quick. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Corzine. There's nothing else. I'll entertain a motion for adjournment, please.
So moved, Madam Chair.
Second.
It's moved and properly second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Good night. It's good seeing you all.
Great to see you too.
Good to be seen.